Hi, I'm Brian J. Markham, the Artistic Director of Music Theater Wichita. We're so excited that we get to do our Holiday Extravaganza for you this year. Holidays are all about memories, and we have asked a few of our holiday cast members to share some of their favorite holiday memories.
It's December the 11th, 1998. Karen is 9 months pregnant with our first daughter, and I am performing at the Crown Uptown in their Christmas show. Karen has some labor pains that very day, so that morning we take her to the hospital, but they send us away because she's not far enough along yet.
So that night I went to the show with Tim, and I was up in the office, and at intermission he came back to check on me. I was on my hands and knees in the middle of a contraction, and he leaned down and said, "Can you wait until the second act is over?"
I could tell by the look in her eye, the answer was no. So I ran off to get the truck, and a good friend of ours tried to help her down to the lobby. So when I came up with the truck, got to the lobby, it was obvious that everybody knew what was going on because they had parted like the Red Sea, and all of them were applauding and cheering and waving as we drove off to the hospital.
And I guess I could have waited until after intermission because Katie wasn't born until 10 a.m. the next morning, and Tim greeted her in true theater style, still dressed in his tuxedo from the night before.
Take that, Fred Astaire.
I'll never forget when I trapped my sister in the basement to play with my Christmas present. That was one of my favorite Christmas presents of all time, which was a karaoke machine that had a tape cassette where you could put a tape in and record yourself. I love this present so much because as a young singer growing up, I got to finally hear my voice recorded for the first time. So I said, "Hey sis, can you come down in the basement?" I created a whole radio show. I was interviewing fake guests. We were singing songs. And after about an hour, she looked at me and said, "Roy T, can I go upstairs now?" And that is just one of the most funniest memories I remember for Christmas.
For me, the holiday started Thanksgiving. When we lived in New York City, we used to go and watch the balloons for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade get inflated the night before, and it was always so fun and exciting. Crowds of people, such great energy. Then we'd go the next day, watch the parade, either from the sidelines, if we were lucky enough, or we would watch it from home and get to see all that happen. And it was so fun to experience that with our children, because holidays always bring up the thought of doing a show. It's been a part of my adult life since I can remember, and that's how I met my husband, by doing the Radio City Christmas show. And then we later were able to take our kids to go see it each year that we could.
Well, my favorite memory is probably Christmas in the 90s. I just loved that era and the feel of what family and the love for Christmas. And I remember I got a Barbie Jeep, and it was probably my favorite Christmas present ever. I could not ever wait. I always opened all my presents before Christmas Day, like 5 in the morning when my mother was asleep. And I now get to share kind of those similar traditions with my daughter, and I love seeing her face when she opens up all those presents. And it's just a great feeling and a great memory.
I remember growing up when we decorated the Christmas tree. My mom, my siblings, and I would sit down at the table and make a garland out of popcorn and peppermints and cranberries while my dad hung the lights. And we'd listen to this one track from an Evie record, "Come on, ring those bells, light the Christmas tree."
There's this one Christmas I remember when I was 7 years old. 5 days before Christmas, which was my birthday, I snuck downstairs when my daddy was doing the fireplace, and I remember looking down, and I saw this cute little brown, hairy, dirty, chestnut roasted color puppy. And I was like, oh my gosh, a puppy. And I remember the song that was playing, "Chestnuts roasting at the open fire." I was like, oh, I know what I was gonna name him. His name was gonna be Beethoven, because during that time, the movie Beethoven was like a big blockbuster hit. So Beethoven. But years later, I remember that he was just a mad dog like Ludwig van Beethoven. Dun, 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 dun.
You've heard some of our favorite memories. Now it's time for you to make new memories with us at our Music Theater Wichita Holiday Extravaganza in the Mary Jane Teall Theater in Century 2, December 5th through the 7th. You can get tickets at mtwichita.org. We hope to see you there, and happy holidays.